about the state of the game. Steve! Yeah, that's right, that's right. Good old Steve. But for players to actually commit themselves to looking for the tech or the game plan to beat out that character, like that's really what's going to push the state of the game into a more positive direction. So I'm really excited to see what MuteAce is going to show us.
And I mean, already showing off quite a lot, right? Dancing around these blocks like they're nothing, finding a quick 90%, burning the resources and smothering. There's no iron to boot, so no anvil. You just got to use a TNT to try and give yourself some time to mine, but you push that TNT forward, displace it so that it blows up the walls, blows up the resources, and you basically counter-grief your opponent.
Yeah, but with such a big wall from Manny, like even with the TNT being pushed all the way in towards Manny, it still wasn't really a threat.
Even still now, the Saturn's online. Speaking of threats, right, it doesn't get much bigger than that. This is a matchup, too, where Mute feels pretty comfortable using it and not throwing it away if you just have a chance. Now that you're at kill percent, though, you can't take a risk. You just need to try and close this one out as safely as possible and hold on to the stock first before that diamond starts to snowball. And unfortunately, Mute can't capitalize, so Manny's got a chance to start snowballing this game.
That's right. Such an early diamond, too, for Manny. That's kind of wild. But I will say, like, one thing that Peach can utilize that I would say most other characters can, like he can go fishing for his own items or his stitch faces from the turnips, while if Steve doesn't opt to like build a wall and start mining. Yeah, like that is one option that you have access to.
Unfortunately, yours are just RNG, whereas Steve's right just come over time, especially here on a stage like PS2. So much width to work with, and while you mine resources slower, you've got 2 different resource sets, so you can kind of flicker. Do I want more iron? Do I want to get diamond a little quicker? What flavor of the week do I want? Well, Mute showing you the only flavor of the week is that you got to eat your veggies, kids, because otherwise you might just go down a stock for it.
Very true. Very, very true. The mining has begun. The mining has begun, and Mute has been taking down those walls, but these short hop down airs have been just so strong for Manny.
And that's why you saw earlier in the game, right? Mute really try to get in and just smother Manny. Take away that iron, and never let it go back, because especially against a character, like Peach, who's going to be holding shield so much as her defensive option, right? Those anvils start to shield poke you like crazy, and Mute just doesn't have a great answer for it. You have to be surgical with your precision, and so far, Mute just hasn't been able to execute that against what Manny's been showing on the table.
Yeah, Mute, fortunately, is the one that's being forced to approach, because Manny is just utilizing all this space.
I love the delay there off the double jump float to push you back to the corner, but just not quite able to intercept the minecart the way you want. While you get it, it's the wrong hit, so it allows the the back air to come out there off that diamond pickaxe. It doesn't kill on the 186 unit wide Pokemon Stadium 2, but this wide stage is benefiting Manny so much more than MuteAce here, right? Mute hasn't been able to find a way to close this gap.
Yeah, that is very true, and it's giving Manny a lot of space to work with to build this wall and then, commit to looking for resources.
I love that flow cancel, right? Just run off the platform, double jump, just to mix up the timing a little bit. Yes, you burn resources, but against Steve, sometimes you just don't got a choice in the equation. I like the snipe, gets the regrab too, keeps that tournament in hand to find a combo, looking for the back air call out, but Manny with the mixed up timing on the roll there meant that Mute just couldn't find it, and it feels like Mute might be playing a little bit off on his timing in this game 1.
I don't know, I feel like Mute's starting to actually find his mark, because we've seen the last 3 or 4 aerials actually connect with their sweet spots, and even maneuvering around the wall or the hitboxes that Manny's putting out, even the mine box.
Yep, and finally catching it there by getting the call out. Tries to avoid the minecart entirely, even though you don't quite, you still get the stock, and taking 11% for that trade isn't terrible, but you now have a diamond deal with the rest of the game. Manny has so much stone here because of PS2, you don't mine that wood after you or dirt after you replace it, that these blocks are going to last forever. Peach has a hard time getting through them without that side special, and Manny's going to have a lot of resources now for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I will say that I feel like the diamond weapons probably aren't going to be, well, they're going to be very impactful to the matchup, but maybe not to MuteAce, because Manny has had diamonds for a majority of this game.
Agreed, but even still, right, you're, now at 50%, get pushed to the corner. You might just be at kill percent, Z-Fly. You got to be incredibly careful. Oh, now so much earlier than you otherwise would. But on the flip side, you can expect them to maybe get a little bit more over-aggressive, fall into the trap that can be, oh, I have a really strong kill move, I should just swing for it. And you can use these high platforms in the wide width and start to float camp, slow the pace of the game down, and find those last couple hits himself.
And that's kind of what we're seeing Mute do now. Like, he is, in fact, slowing down the pace of the game. If Manny starts to approach, you do see him opt to landing on these platforms and then seeing, okay, are you going to approach me or are you going to retreat and mine more materials? And then do I get to take back center stage?
What a risky air dodge there from MuteAce, but the neutral doesn't get punished. Now the back air 2 just pushing you to the corner. Manny has to get away, and only 2 iron left in the tank. This is absolutely huge for him. One's going to have to get burned here with that powered mine card to get back. He only has an anvil. He doesn't have the greatest scramble tools to just steal a stock away anymore. Now they're gone.
He has no carts.
Yes, but Mute in disadvantage means that Manny might get a chance for more. Instead, he's going to look for the juggle. The aggressive option might not give him quarter. No, he's going to find it, but MuteAce with the DI just holding on. The float to slow things down, keep you guessing, but he's still got to get those feet on the ground.
Yeah, okay, great recovery from Mute. Now planting his feet back onto the ground, getting those resources back, looking for his way in. Gets a soft hit in air.
And called out the anvil there as well. Incredibly risky play from Mute. He mistimed that by 1 frame. That's the end of the game. Instead, he's going to get one more chance. Still can't find that last hit, but has a chance to look for the bomber. But it's just going to reset because it breaks the block, cancels kind of some of that lag. And you know what? You got one more chance, MuteAce. Can you find it? No, you cannot. Manny, left, right, center. Listen, they say, do you swing my sword, my diamond sword? Well, no, actually, it's the pickaxe this time around. But the idea is still the same. It's going to kill you sooner or later.
Yeah, and with the amount of swinging that we saw from Manny, Mute was really bobbing and weaving, looking for the opportunity. He did get a few straight hits in, but nothing strong enough to really put him in an advantageous state.
Yeah, and as much as Mute was dodging, dipping, ducking, dodging, and diving, I mean, listen, he just wasn't able to close it out there on PS2, but I think we'll see a stage counter pick from him here. I think he'll just try to play that counter resource game, give himself, maybe a little bit less wide space to work with. And even though Peach normally loves PS2 for those high plats, the ability to get a lead and float camp you against Steve, right? They just out-resource you for not interacting, and so you want to find a place that you can at least force them off stage more, force them into the scramble situations more, that we really saw MuteAce get a lot of mileage off of.
Yes, very true. So maybe picking a shorter stage where it really allows him to turn on the gas and play that aggressive style that we saw in the first, 30 seconds of the game.
Or even a town and city, right, that just says, hey, you're not going to get as much stone, you're going to get weaker blocks that I can get away with. I got those high platforms so I can slow the pace of the game down. Yes, you're going to kill me earlier off the side, but I'm going to kill you earlier as well, and I'm going to get to live a little bit longer against some of your juggles. I wouldn't be surprised to see that here. I've seen Peaches go to it in the past, but it's really hard because, frankly, I think Steve has really good stages at least against Princess Peach.
Would you be as bold to say that Steve has no bad stages?
I mean,
because I would be that bold. I don't think he has any bad stages in this stage list.
Yeah, I was going to say in this stage list because Steve has 2 bad stages, and their names are Yoshi's Story and Lilat, and neither of them are legal at this tournament.
Rainbow Cruise. Legalize Rainbow Cruise. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Z-Fly, I know you're 34. I know you're 34.
Thank
but
you.
Don't send it back to ball.
I have
don't send it back to ball, Z-Fly. Don't do it. Don't do it.
The crowd is with me.
What? You're gonna just give Mennonite multi-hit tornado back?
Dude, I would.
I mean, yeah.
I would. Too, I would totally do it. Yeah. If I was in charge of this game, we don't want to talk about if I was in charge of this game. Okay.
From Z-Fly to Stack of Play. That's how it goes. Is Manny, Mute, still trying to figure out the counter pick, still trying to get locked and loaded, taking their time. And I do wonder, how much when you take these extended breaks between games 1 and 2, how much of it, if you're the player that lost, verse 1, right, does it ice you out? Does it give you some time to recenter yourself, get those extra adjustments? Because, even for counter picking, right, between games, they're spending a long time here. And I think for one of them, it's intentional. The question is just which one.
I could take a guess, but I'm not going to. But that being said, I think it's for what you said or what you had asked about these extended periods between games. If it allows you to calm down or maybe even lock back in. I feel like that is a trait that maybe falls outside of top players, because a top player is not going to get as razzled by the first game loss. Maybe if like something stunning occurred, but what we saw here in game 1 was very close to, if not a last hit situation.
No,
where we saw
agree.
Mute just scrambling for a single hit.
I absolutely agree, but even still, I gotta think that, like, hey, maybe here, right, this is gonna maybe cool off a little bit of Manny's momentum, give Mute a chance to maybe say, well, I was considering which of these 3 adjustments do I want to try and implement in game 2. Okay, that's the one I'm gonna go with because of X, Y, Z, that I just wouldn't have had the time to quite think through all the way before. So maybe some potential benefits both ways, but hey, right, listen, we also could just be overthinking it, but we're also casting.
I think
That's kind of our job.
I think they were just picking the stages.
I know. Still, sometimes.
Like, it's like, oh, I picked this stage. Well, I don't know if we can pick that stage. What do you mean I can't pick that stage? All right, whatever. They're getting into game 2.
And going into game 2, but right back on PS2, all that time to go to the same place. That's what I'm saying, Z-Fly. There's no way it could have been just a stage pick.
They were looking at their phones for so long. It had to have been stage related. Whatever. Game 2, back on Pokemon Stadium 2.
And I like the Dare combo starter from MuteAce are already showing kind of a willingness to just mix up different openings, different pacings than we saw in game 1. We saw some Dare attempts earlier, but when it didn't work, Mute went away from it. Here, going right back to it and opening with it strongly. The Manny's adjustments have kind of started to wall off this horizontal space a lot more, leaving him way more open to these down air combos.
Manny opting for the gold tools, diamond in hand, so we'll see if he tries to go for it for his first stock, maybe save it for the second one.
Yeah, I like the idea of gold here, even though you've got the low usage on it, right? It cuts a couple frames off, it gives you a better SDI multiplier, so it's harder to SDI out of the combos too at low percent, and so Manny just able to potentially find some extra pressure, but Mute with the beautiful shield there finds his way out right before the shield poke and gets the punish on that anvil. Even still, right, if that's a diamond, if that's another tool, that F smash does not connect. Mute can fade it back. With the gold online, he had nowhere to go but the blast.
Very, very true. But we did see Manny opt for the diamond on his first stock, even at a higher percent.
Yeah, and if you're super happy because Manny's making that play on the upside, right? Saying, hey, if I get the one hit, I'm going to give you so much damage. But on the other side, now there's 2 iron and no resources left in the tank. MuteAce dodged that diamond and it's entirely V. This is the best situation for him to find a lead, but unable to get through that iron. These iron blocks are actually giving Manny a whole bunch of time to get more resources because he, again, doesn't have the best tools to get through it.
Oh, double forward air though. That's speaking of good tools. Seeing some good tools coming out from Mute. A quick anvil creates so much space between Manny and Mute.
Yeah, Manny doing a great job finding these blocks one position over under the plat, so Mute has to go under the platform first, but get under the lips and then find a way around the block. If you do it further out, you can kind of jump over the block, drop through, you get a little bit more mix, but here you just don't at all, and so Mute has had to slow this down, back off, and Manny, while he had no resources a minute ago, has 5 iron, a whole bunch of stone, diamond, and gold in the back pocket. He's living his best life right now.
Yeah, I mean, he could, go for a little bit more, but probably doesn't want to get too greedy. You're going to see that diamond weapon coming out now. And just, take as much as you can get.
Like 1 poke, 2 poke on these back airs, but again, Mute just not able to find a way in. Now just avoiding the combo string, but Manny reacting, like calling out that DI out and away with the jabs and the jump just to rack on some extra damage. That's 50% unanswered. The diamond damage output is absurd sometimes.
Yeah, but I mean, it's supposed to have the downside of, it's difficult to get, but when you're able to create space, create walls, and really allow yourself the time to look for that diamond, I mean, we just see it so consistently.
Yeah, and especially as a character like Peach, that being said, Mute reading that mistech, cleaning it up with the back air off the float, and getting the stock. Now, Manny has to burn that diamond here early. Mute has a chance, but Manny gets to refuel the full set of resources. He's got about as much iron as a man could ever want, and if Mute is going to have a chance, it's now. You can't let Manny get out of this disadvantage state.
Okay, but here we are. This is where we're going to start seeing those close quarter combats from these 2 characters. The anvil does come out, and we're seeing the fishing coming out from Manny.
Wow, Mute there finding that dare mix-up just to mix up the timing, but the forward air just to reset to get off me. I won't take the outside, but I will just get out of dodge. Mute, though, now high enough, he can float away, dance around for just a second, and at least breathe. I like the timing mix-up there, saving the float for the last second, using that platform to refresh it, right? Giving himself one more chance to get down, and this feels like much the same situation as game number 1 Z-Fly.
We do, but in fact, we see Mute that's on the hunt instead of the Manny being the one that throws out the traps. The Nair does not connect for Mute. That was a vital. That was huge. He needed to land that.
Dude, never have I wished I had replays more, because that micro spacing, the slight wiggle, right, back to just angle your hurt box up for Manny, literally made that at Nair miss, right? He wiggled back, he wiggled forth. It wasn't even the stall, it wasn't even the momentum. It was literally just the angle that Steve sits in Elytra at for just long enough where if he had done it 2 frames longer, that Elytra would have popped and he would have died. Instead, he dodges the Nair, grabs ledge, and closes out the game, goes up 2-0, and MuteAce locking in the zone.
Yep.
You mentioned, hey, Mute may not get psyched out by that first game loss. That second one, though, is about as strong a test for the mental as you get.
The micro spacing was amazing, and that does show how knowledgeable Manny is to not only the matchup, but his own character as well. Ritual, we're going into Game 3, Manny up 2-0. We might see another upset.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if we're the block of upsets, then so be it. But can this blocky menace keep it going, or will last week's major winner find a way to keep on storming towards the top cut of winner's side? I mean, we're going to find out here. Still on Pokemon Stadium, no changes to boot. It's just the adjustments. Mute has come as close as you can get in these last 2, but it's up, down 0-2 to start this set.
I know, like, when you really think about it, the score says 2-0, but those matches, both of those games were just so incredibly close. So incredibly close.
Okay, Stitch face, but not going to get too much more. You at least get a get off me, back on some damage. Unfortunately, that one more hit, though, Z-Fly could have been the game, and Mute missing that one V catch might be a difference maker here. I like the idea to go for that side special, for that bomber from Peach to just try and disrupt some space. It is one of her best tools against block, but Mute just needs to get the stock first and start building some extra credit, not let this early diamond come out from Manny for the 3rd game in a row.
Okay, but we did see the Mute was able to sneak in a hit, blow up the TNT, and actually get the reverse onto Manny. Diamonds do come out.
Yeah, I was going to say he got that hit, but wasn't soon enough. Got it just after the diamond was mined. It was the last resource for Manny on the first stock before that cycle reset. Now, though, right, you see again that side special, you bounce off, you reset, get a poke, and even if the blocks break, well, you bounce far enough away that Steve just has a hard time punishing you. Now Mute gets to rack up some damage, slow down the pace of the game, and reset this one right back. The platform there gave perfect spacing for Mute to calculate where it was going to go, avoid the shield poke, and give himself a huge opportunity off this Dragon Ball situation.
I mean, and just look at how different this Game 3 is, because we see Mute take the lead in controlling the pace of the game. Now that Manny is being forced to approach at a much earlier portion of the game, Mute is being allowed to set up his own traps and beat out, of course, like the cards and all these big aerials that Manny is putting out by using like short hop aerials out of shield.
Even still, Z-Fly, the difference between 3 stocks to 1 here and 2 stocks to 2, even with the percent difference, cannot be overstated in this matchup. Mr. Saturn coming out again. That's MuteAce's second one of the set. You can tell, no, he doesn't want it. He just wants to send it away. I don't need the higher upside. I don't think Manny's going to shield. I just need a reset and just take the safe plays here.
I mean, do Steve players even shield?
Yes, we saw it just moments ago.
I think that was an accident.
You're right. You're right. Listen. They do shield. It's called block. It's called wall. It's called
the wall. Oh, yes, of course. The infamous shield.
Listen, and Mute doing a great job here, trying to shark onto these platforms, say, hey, Manny, you're coming up high. I'm going to force you to burn this iron to try and contest me low, or falling aerial at predictable timing. Getting caught in that minecart was huge for Manny. He just mixed up his timing off that up special a little bit, was able to push the space, and now steals the stock away from Mute with no extra credit. If Manny can get this diamond quickly, he still very much can take this game away.
I mean, I think he has diamond.
Oh yeah,
right?
he had 2 in the pocket. Holy moly.
Yeah, he created the diamond and then pulled out another one real quick.
Yeah, I just I'm not gonna lie, I saw Mute hit him so fast, I didn't think the craft fully finished, but no, it did. And this is a huge opportunity for MuteAce, right? Even though the damage is getting racked up, if he can force you off stage here, he's got an extra stock to work with.
Yeah, talking about micro-spacing earlier, now we see MuteAce, the one who's really being forced to weave around these hitboxes that Manny is putting out. Whether he's like resetting on blocks and throwing out these big, how huge that back air is.
DIing that up and in on that up tilt. Such a terrifying way to DI any combo starter. But recognizing that's how I get away from this diamond. Huge stitch phase, not going to find the Zair, but Manny neutral getting up and thing and
he had to move. He had to move.
He saw the stitch and he said, oh god, oh god, oh god, what do I do? I can't drop off. I can't jump. Stitch covers everything. I got to get up a deck. I got to roll. I got to neutral to get up. And Mute locked in, covered all three on reaction, closes out the game, forces us to a game 4. We're going to see one of two things happen 2 sets in a row, Z-Fly. We're either going to see our second upset or our second reverse 3-0.
I'm here for it. Both of them sound very exciting. So let's see. They're locking in real fast for game number 4. No extended breaks this time.
Once they understood, hey, we actually just want to go back to PS2 the whole time, it's like, okay, let's just run it.
Yep, that's exactly what we did. And we saw, of course, we see Mute opting to push the TNT all the way into the wall, taking it out in one hit.
And that TNT is terrifying against most of the cast, right? It forces you to back off. But when a character has a projectile or an item like Peach does with the turnip, you can just you can force it away, you can displace it, and use it against the Steve. And Mute's done that so well throughout this set, but now has to find a way to continue doing what he's done well, find ways in and dislodge Steve, because now that Diamond's online with 60%, and this is looking like the first 2 games, not in game number 3 early on.
No, it's not. We haven't seen MuteAce be able to take the percent lead and really push his advantage quite yet. Although it's still early in game number 4.
Move on. This is an opportunity for him. Reads the mistech there off the block. That was intentional by Manny, just trying to mix MuteAce on that chase. Even still, right, the toss up delay forces Manny to move once again, and Mute is ready. He is starting to lock this down at the edge and has every chance here, Z-Fly, to find this first stock and bring that opening right back to the Velvet possibility.
That's right. Those back airs have been so clutch for Mute, as he was able to really just push Manny away every time we saw him approach. Get the booty bump. Coming in again, get the booty bump. But only took one instance of a forward air at a higher percent to get rid of Manny's stock, and now we're going to see MuteAce pull back a little bit.
And I get it if you're Mute here, right? You're at 83. He already has Diamond. He's going to get Diamond the rest of the game. You might as well just let him get it now and force him to at least approach on your turn. Because if you try to swing when he's mining under that platform with those 2 walls, you're putting yourself in such a bad position to get your stock blown up in an early percent. Might as well just hold the stage positioning. You've already lost the resource game. And that's what Mute's trying to play. He's trying to play this game very slowly and controlled spacing over everything. It's not about the resources anymore because he didn't get the control early.
I mean, yeah, the resource game. Oh, that's so unfortunate. So unfortunate for Moose as he got caught, but great spacing for Manny, standing on top of that single block to put his S-Smash a little bit higher. We all know Mute, and most Peach players like to float within that space. Manny really calling that out.
Yeah, now 75% after, as you mentioned, that nil-1 up smash. Just so much work and so hard to react to, right? Because there's no landing lag before you do it. You just get the pure up smash timing and out of dodge after the jump squad gets the shield poke. And Manny going down from losing the first stock to barely getting hit. And the crowd is starting to heat up. They know this one is in reach for their boy. But MuteAce having a chance to even it up right here. Gonna get it. And Manny hyping himself up in that player game. He knows he's not out of the woods yet.
That's right. Last stock situation, Manny only 1 stock away from pulling up an enormous upset in this bracket and advancing into top 64 winner side.
And if I'm Mute, this is, I know, right? My tournament's on the line. But if I'm Manny, I feel like mine is too. Because I don't think, Z-Fly, that if Manny loses this game, I feel like you can tell how much passion, how much focus he's putting here. I don't know that he's going to be able to maintain the mental the way he wants to. Mute ready with the parasol, showing you every trick up the sleeve, pulling out all the stops because, listen, those shoulder pads gotta hide something, and whatever they do, you need to show right now.
Even more impressive, like with the up B out of shield, he was maneuvering the shield up to make sure that the up tilt did not poke.
Z-Fly also, look at this, 1 iron, no other resources to speak of. That stone gone just to try and get a little bit more. Now 2 irons, back to 1, but We've seen Mute finally get this resource lead he's thought of with 26. He's not in kill percent against a raw back air either. This is the perfect situation for him. And Mute knows that if he keeps up the pressure, Game 5 is right there in his grasp right now.
That's right. Getting topped at, getting a big forward air from Mute. Just continues to push Manny onto the side of the stage. Turn up in hand, back air missing.
Wow, that could have been it, but the beautiful angling there with the Elytra, that cancel at the end into the combo, giving Manny that one more chance he might need, but he takes off the crown. Not going to do it just yet, Z-Fly. One more chance for Manny. He's got his back against the block wall that he's building himself. And listen, he has a chance. Can he make it happen?
That's right. He is trying to utilize that wall, but that wall is almost gone. Manny's fishing for these options. He really just needs one big hit. Great parry into a dash attack.
Listen, when it matters most, MuteAce locked in and clutched up. Normally when your back is against the wall, that's a downside. Hey, Manny said, hey, hold on,
run it back.
I'm Steve. But game number 5 now, running it back, where the best sets are made, where the best sets are born, and where the best sets end. We're here on PS2. This one, Z-Fly has been an absolute banger, and it all comes down to this.
The micro spacing and the precision in this set have been phenomenal.
Dude, I mean, listen, you know, obviously we've seen Steve having some great tools with Elytra and others to find some micro space. Peach with the best in the game with that float ability to just position yourself exactly where you want to be. MuteAce missing the turnip not once but twice. Gonna not get with the TNT the way you wanted, and that's a whole bunch of extra resources for Manny that you just wouldn't have got otherwise if you executed those turnip tosses.
I mean, as much as like as many resources as Manny has just achieved and received from that stall, we've actually seen Manny utilize or gather this amount of resources just about every game.
Agreed, and Mute's done a really good job at counter-managing it. But the difference here early compared to before is that iron. We haven't seen Manny build the iron tools yet.
And he
that's
opted
gonna allow
for
him
such an early diamond.
Well, why not? He's at 0%. Mute hasn't hit him yet.
I know, that's going to be a huge game changer, actually.
Yeah, and that early iron was the difference maker. It allows Manny to mine resources faster, so even though he built them early at the same rate, he was able to maintain it after the fact, right? He was able to keep marching towards that diamond, and now 25% to his lead. This is the biggest lead we've seen either player have this entire set, and of course it's going to come in game number 5.
Yep, of course, you know, this is where all the marbles are on the table.
And I fully expect this, the way this crowd is starting to inch towards the stage. If Mute can take it, they are storming it. And if Manny can take it, they are storming it. And right now, Mute knows that. He is trying to find a way to avoid these F smashes, to slow this game down, to find a way back in it. But Manny's unhittable right now, and it's because of that shield that we thought maybe Steve's don't do before.
Yeah, well, definitely getting a lot of mileage out of it. I will say that even though Mute's back is against the wall, like, he is still in fact like doing a fantastic job when it comes to outspacing Manny. Like, whenever we see Manny going for those mine carts, especially that have a longer range, we see them getting beaten out. Whenever Manny is opting for the anvil at a higher height, we see Mute ready with the up airs.
But if you're Mute, you have to play perfect for a long way. We saw space perfectly for a minute, didn't get hit. One minecart, 2 minecarts he's now missed, potentially losing his stock fight from 70 to 90 to 100 now. Has to get the diamond, but Manny losing that there. You saw no tool when he went for the swing, and that's going to be huge. That pickaxe is gone, no other resources to speak of, which means he can't rebuild that crafting table, Z-Fly.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't really have much choice right now, but Mute!
Mute goes on the last hit too! On the last hit of the diamond! That was the difference maker, and now one more stock for Manny to separate him from an upset to end them all. At 190, we're finally gonna see MuteAce take it, but he had that chance to come in, no resources, no crafting table, perfect situation, and instead the missed spacing might just have cost him. This is a game of inches, Z-Fly, and Manny has not missed.
Not even inches, we're talking frames. Just with the amount of precision that both these players are trying to utilize in this game 5. But as you can see, Manny is opting once again to look for those resources, falling on top of Mute. That's really the danger zone for Manny, is when he's trying to use that anvil on top of Mute's shields.
And I love Mute there rolling in, right? Giving himself that opportunity if he did get hit to tech against the block, then the footstool to get a dodge. But now he's got to be careful because he needs to find a way down that diamond back. He had a chance to maybe steal it away, reset the swing of momentum, the snowball for last stock, but instead, he has to play perfect from here on out. Manny did recraft it though, so another window. If Mute can get this before this diamond comes back online, before those 26 items get mined up again, Z-Fly, Mute still has a chance in this one.
I mean, even if Mute does, I don't mean to sound pessimistic, but okay, never mind. Diamond's back again. We're already going to see at least one more diamond if it's even necessary.
He went for the float there instead of the footstool just to mix Manny. Super creative from him there, and now we're seeing Mute fade back, float, cross stage, but unfortunately here on PS2, even at 117, that forward is not enough. Tries to intercept, but Manny with a timing mix-up, Mute just not locking it down. He's got the edge guard attempt, no resources to speak of. This is his opportunity to take the stock, Z-Fly.
Yeah, but with Diamond, you still got those giant hitboxes that you have to worry about, so you're still micro-spacing even though you have no resources.
Yeah, and the crazy part is Diamond literally, F-Smash goes from a get-off-me tool at 60 to a kill move at 80, and now MuteAce firmly in that territory. Even if he can take the stock, right, one Peach combo away, but you just have to pressure, non-stop for the rest of the game. You have one opening.
Talk about pressure. MuteAce is applying all the pressure right now.
Dude, this is insane. Whether Mute does it, whether Manny clutches it out, I mean, either way, this is one for the books for sure. Right now, Mute just trying to find a way in, but not willing to push it, saying, hey, I know if I overcommit once, that's my game. That's my set.
That is, in fact, your winner's life side of the tournament.
Wow, I love the mix-up. Finds the timing mix-up in the smallest of spacing. Stopped us from ending the game right there with that back air of Mr. Saturn when it matters most. If I'm Mute, I say, you know what? I gotta roll with this. I gotta try and find the upside. Maybe, no, I'm just gonna toss it away. Okay, one more chance here.
Okay, in Ritual, I probably want to point this out, but look at the time. We are actually approaching the single-minute mark. Manny could opt to go for time if he chooses to. He has that option right now.
I think if you're Peach, though, you're very happy because that's going to require going off stage and you could get sniped with an Elytra, get caught out, and just steal the game away. So you almost want him to slow the pace of the game down. Let him swing. Let him play aggressively because that's what you want. If he times it out, I feel like that's where Peach almost wants to be.
I mean, I feel like if you're Minecraft Steve, then slowing down the pace to your level is exactly what you want. We're going to see the back throw.
That's the first float cancel grab we've seen the entire set from you. Oh, he switched with the dash attack. Doesn't find it. The dash attack from Manny in turn. Holy mackerel. MuteAce had the chance, but it's Manny on the swing and the miss who comes in and cleans it up. Z-Fly.
Ay, Dios mío.
Wow.
What an intense game.
Manny got pushed to the limit. MuteAce was down 2 stocks at one point and reeled it all the way back. But when push came to shove, it wasn't Manny clutching it out through some crazy shenanigans. It was Mute overcommitting with a dash attack and Manny saying, thanks, I played the game, I played it right. Now with 50 seconds left, thanks for handing me the crown, baby.
Yeah, and that's why that timer is such an important part of the game, because we did hit that 1 minute mark, and with that I think there was 90% difference at one point approaching the 1 minute mark. It really forces one player to play hyper aggressive,
and you can tell how.
And when you play hyper aggressive, it's not always perfect.
Yeah, no, as you mentioned, right? Just you have to push that at the end. You have to not make a mistake. And Mute had the chance. Mute thought that they had the chance to capitalize there.
Yeah.
You saw that measured, beautiful game. Hit, reset. Hit, reset. Right? Rinse, repeat. Took one read. Put all the chips on black. Unfortunately, that spin ended up on red. And Manny, you could see, right? The thumbs up, the sighs of relief, the head shake. Even though he was up 2-0, almost getting reverse 3-0'd, he couldn't believe he did it. He was pushed as far as a player can. And if I'm Manny, I'm going in not only feeling good that I made the upset, not only feeling good I'm top,